am sorry, my mentor. I have failed you.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I don't know if you knew this about me, but I'm actually very concerned for Hollywood celebrities. Their state of mind and what they think is important is also very important to me, because as a pleb, as just somebody who lives in a flyover state, I can only wish, I can only dream upon a wildest dream, my wildest dream, to understand what the big brains of Hollywood have to say. I look to them for all the latest fashion trends. I look to them for who to vote for politically. Hollywood has all the answers because, you know, why not? What else, what other factor do I need to put into account other than whether or not I see somebody on TV when determining what they know about complex political issues? Big-brained individuals like Sarah Silverman, who literally thought a construction marker was a swastika and tweeted about it publicly. Jonas, find that image. Nonetheless, they are devastated as Bernie Sanders drops out. Now, I understand there are genuinely people that support Bernie Sanders. Many of them, like 5% of U.S. voters, not a tiny percent. But I'm also convinced that Hollywood celebrities like to endorse Bernie Sanders because it's hip and because they know there's 0% chance that he will ever be the leader of this country. People that have net worths of $50 to $100 million like to say things a la Britney Spears, like, eat the rich and we shall redistribute our wealth, even though they themselves aren't comrade enough to take the first step. This is a virtue signal. It's because they want people to like and retweet them. If there is ever a more hilarious hypocrite than the Hollywood political pundit, I would be shocked. Like Alec Baldwin yesterday, whom I covered, who said, if you're black and you vote for Trump, you're mentally ill. In fact, he went so far as to say that if you voted for Donald Trump in general, you're mentally ill.
One day you will all look at the world us actors created and say, wow, good going, fag. You really made the world a better place, didn't you, fag?
Now, some of my viewers may believe that, but most of my viewers would understand that a nuanced take, rather than pointing at half of all voters in the country and calling them mentally ill, would probably be the best position to be in. But Hollywood celebrities are devastated. Famous Bernie Sanders critics and supporters alike are coming together on social media to thank the senator for a hard-fought presidential campaign. Yeah, he raised like $100 million to get 0%. You know, to never really have a chance to get the nomination. But I hope you know, hashtag no refunds.
Come back! Come back! Willie still loves you, oh great one!
But that's neither here nor there. Sarah Silverman, John Cusack, and Mark Ruffalo, Mia Farrow, and Alyssa Milano, Jonathan Van Ness, and other celebrities are taking to Twitter to bid Sanders farewell after the dropout of the 2020 race on Wednesday, with former Vice President Joe Biden emerging as the clear Democratic contender, something anybody with a brain knew was the reality 6 months ago. Quote, wow, I'm heartbroken about Bernie. In all this darkness, he made me believe that people together could be the light. He continues to be an inspiration, and he'll never stop fighting for us. Thank you, Bernie. For me, you're right up there with Mr. Rogers. Good. That's right, Mr. Rogers for president. I would actually much rather vote for Mr. Rogers than Bernie Sanders for presidential candidate.
I'll say this once.
Sanders.
I hope it's understood. Get right back in your van. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood.
How about model and Gone Girl actress Emily Ratajkowski? Another avid Sanders fan echoed Silverman's despair, punctuating her message with the hashtag Bernie is our hope. I hope that the editor has put up their net worths because I think it's funny. Let's see. Sarah Silver. I don't think she's super rich. Let's look at her net worth. $12 million. How about Emily Ratajkowski? $6 million.
Pathetic.
Millionaires talking about, and I quote, "I feel so hopeless and devastated and powerless." Yes, Emily, net worth $6 million. I'm sure there's nothing you could do to make any change whatsoever. How about Avengers star Mark Ruffalo weighed in Wednesday afternoon sharing a recent tweet from Sanders vowing to go forward and keep fighting. "You are an inspiration and have done more to change the direction of the party in a progressive and just way than any other person who's fought for the Democratic nomination." This is verifiably false, by the way. Bernie Sanders will have zero impact on Joe Biden. But great job, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
How about let's play the game? Net worth game. Let's see, $30 million. Now, by the way, just because you have money does not mean your opinion is invalid. And that doesn't mean you don't believe what you say. I'm just saying, as a pleb, someone in a flyover state, someone who has to purchase a ticket to see Mark Ruffalo and can't just pick up the phone like Bernie Sanders can, I find it curious that somebody who is worth $30 million would endorse somebody who wants to redistribute wealth. But that's just me. Even Biden and Elizabeth Warren endorsers momentarily put aside their differences for Sanders supporters to pay respect to what his presidential run stood for. What? Raising money and never having any real chance of winning? I mean, I don't know. I guess. How about Alyssa Milano, the great activist? "You forever changed the party and made us reflect upon all the ways we need to do more and be better. Your efforts will be reflected in every advocate and activist for generations to come, and will inspire policy that will make the world a better place." No, it won't. The DNC didn't even like Bernie Sanders. They hosed him in 2016, and they did it again in 2020. You think they care about him? And you can see you spent the entire primary attacking him, Alyssa Milano. If you want to do something productive with your time, then push Joe Biden on policies like Medicare for all. Joe Biden will adopt 0% of Bernie Sanders' opinions, by the way. John Cusack, Mia Farrow, Rosanna Arquette, Cynthia Nixon.
Well, I'm not a crook.
And Kate Winslet. Oh, they are just so devastated. These are the same people that get articles like this written on NBC. Hollywood's cluelessness exposes the lies behind "they're just like us." Literally nobody thought that. They think that. Like Ethan Klein tweeting from his $9 million mansion about how he's just one of us and how he's outraged that there are people at the farmer's market.
Now what the fuck is that? Huh? Ethan, what the fuck is that?
I don't know what it is that causes people to lose the ability of self-awareness, but nonetheless, it's not entertaining to wink at or fawn over celebrities' casual sense of remove when you're out of work and can't find groceries. I think it was music and movie producer David Geffen's Instagram post about self-isolating that really broke me. It was 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, and my toddler had announced his awakening. I was shuffling into the kitchen to warm up his milk while scrolling through my phone and mentally preparing for a day of working while child wrangling in an 800-square-foot apartment when I saw it. A picture taken from what looked like a drone or a helicopter of a massive cruise ship-like yacht floating in the ocean against a backdrop of a spectacular sunset over some green mountains, with the caption, "Sunset last night, isolated in the Grenadines, avoiding the coof. I hope everyone's staying safe." Despite being lucky enough to have a roof over my head and have currently a healthy family in which with to spend my time, I wanted to throw my phone across the combination kitchen dining room area at the temerity of Geffen's humble bragging on his yacht during everything that's going on. And if nothing else, a 454-foot yacht that sails with a crew of 45 people is hardly isolated. Geffen later deleted his Instagram account. So intensely irate was the universal response to his yacht-based salutations, but he's hardly the only celebrity whose efforts that prove they're just like us have fallen flat. Madonna sharing a video of herself bathing in rose petals. Celebrities singing the Imagine video led by Gal Gadot. Ellen DeGeneres leading off her first show from home this week with the joke, "Being in isolation is like being in jail. It's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone in here is gay." Is decidedly unfunny when considering that people around the United States are warning that these issues in the nation's prisons and jails, where isolated hygienic practices and social distancing are nearly impossible, could lead to some of the highest infection rates in the country. Show business is notoriously fickle, and everything going on right now is creating a new kind of celebrity consumer, one who's more critical of celebrity exorbitance. The class stratifications between rich and famous and the rest of us have never felt more glaringly obvious. No wonder people aren't amused enough by the cluelessness to toss those differences aside. Would we have cared so much about a celebrity showing off their yacht on Instagram before everything going on? Probably not. After all, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and MTV Cribs were popular shows. There's supposed to be some distance between celebrities and the rest of society. It keeps up the fantasy that they aren't like us and reminds us in the hierarchy we shouldn't expect to be like them. Celebrity culture has always been an artificial construct. There is no grand design behind who earns this status and who doesn't, but we tacitly understood that the price for our amusement was the participation in the system. But now that we're seeing them in silk pajamas in their elegantly appointed homes, pretending how hard their pampered lives are while the rest of us count toilet paper squares and hunt for Tylenol bottles, there's no way to continue our participation in this shared fantasy. Celebrity culture in the modern era is all about the pretense of connection to the world, the facsimile of friendship derived from our manufactured intimacy cultivated by social media. However, our anger at how truly disconnected they are from our struggles is breaking that connection, and with it, the currency in which celebrities trade. Once a welcome distraction from our lives, celebrity responses to the situation are now a stark reminder of just how precious all of our situations are in this new, frightening moment when Americans are either practicing social distancing, working on the front lines, and while some people wonder how they'll put food on the table, celebrities need to figure out how they want their actions to be remembered in the future. Did they splash around in a milk bath or write checks to make sure healthcare workers could get masks that they needed? This is exactly the issue, right? I have no problem with trading a little bit of PR for cash. Really, I don't. Ultimately, I understand that it's, the issue or it's the trade. But if you parade it out there like you need the world to thank you, then I am really, really at a loss to care any less than I do. You aren't one of us. Your millions of dollars and pampered lifestyle are obvious when you try to be just one of us with a glitchy Skype connection in my multi-million-dollar home. Celebrities, shut up, donate your money, and ask for clout later. We'd all be much better off. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.